Hey, Steelers Nation. We're back with an exclusive video packed with the latest updates on our beloved Pittsburgh Steelers. Before we dive in, make sure to subscribe to our channel and hit that like button. This way, you'll never miss any exclusive updates or exciting Steelers news. Man, the internet is melting right now. The rumor flying around is absolutely insane. Myles Garrett. Yes, that Myles Garrett, the monster off the edge, the Cleveland Browns' defensive wrecking ball, might actually be heading to the Pittsburgh Steelers. You can hear the collective gasp echoing from Ohio to Pennsylvania, because this isn't just a potential move, it's a nuclear explosion in the AFC North. People are already losing their minds on social media, saying this would be like Thanos joining the Avengers' enemies. And honestly, they're not wrong. Imagine Garrett wearing that black and gold, stepping on a Heinz Field with that fierce look in his eyes, ready to unleash chaos on quarterbacks. Steelers fans are drooling. Browns fans are in denial. And the rest of the league? They're just sitting back, watching, knowing that if this actually happens, the balance of power in the division changes instantly. The vibe in Pittsburgh has been hungry for dominance again, and bringing in Garrett, the ultimate disruptor, would be the kind of statement that says, "We're back, and we're taking no prisoners." Whether it's rumor or reality, this story has officially taken over the football world. Now, before you think this is just another off-season Twitter storm, let's be clear, this buzz didn't come out of nowhere. Insiders are whispering about a major defensive shakeup coming out of Cleveland, and one anonymous source reportedly mentioned Garrett's name in connection with Pittsburgh's front office. Nobody's gone on record, of course, but that's how these things always start. It begins with a few murmurs, then a few cryptic tweets, and suddenly, everyone's analyzing plain flight data like it's a crime scene. The crazy part is that Garrett's relationship with the Browns organization has reportedly been tense since last season. Some say he's frustrated with the team's direction. Others say he's looking for a change of scenery. And honestly, when you're a once-in-a-generation athlete stuck in mediocrity, who could blame you? The Steelers, meanwhile, are desperate for that next defensive identity, something beyond nostalgia. TJ Watt can't do it all alone forever. Pair him with Garrett? That's not a duo. That's a nightmare for offensive lines. The more people talk, the more it starts to feel like there's something real behind the smoke. Pittsburgh's been known to pull off quiet, calculated moves that explode once they're public. Think about it. This organization loves blue-collar, hard-hitting football, and Garrett fits that mold perfectly. He's strong, disciplined, and terrifyingly intelligent on the field. Add him to that Steelers locker room, and you've instantly redefined their defensive DNA. But let's also talk about the drama this would create. Cleveland fans already have deep-rooted animosity toward Pittsburgh, and this move would turn that rivalry into pure warfare. It's betrayal, it's shock, it's chaos. All the ingredients for a historic storyline. Imagine the first time Garrett lines up against his old team, wearing black and yellow instead of brown and orange. The boos would shake the earth. The tension would be electric, and every camera in America would be pointed right at him, waiting to see if he crushes his old quarterback with the same fire he once used to protect him. What's really wild is how divided fans are about this. Some people think it's total fantasy, like no way the Browns would ever let their defensive cornerstone walk to a rival. But others are connecting dots, saying the financial math could actually make it work. The Steelers have cap flexibility coming up, and Cleveland's front office might be thinking long-term rebuild after years of inconsistent results. There's also the psychological factor. When players feel underappreciated or exhausted by losing culture, they start looking elsewhere. Garrett's always been loyal, but loyalty only lasts so long when the dream starts feeling like a cage. If Pittsburgh's leadership pitched him the right vision, a fresh start, a playoff-ready roster, a legacy waiting to be written, it could be the ultimate temptation. And let's be honest, what player wouldn't want to join one of the most storied franchises in NFL history, surrounded by banners, history, and fans who bleed black and gold? It's the kind of opportunity that whispers to greatness. Even sports analysts are starting to lean in. You can see in the way they phrase their sentences, cautious but curious. If Garrett were to explore options outside Cleveland or a move within the division, while unlikely, cannot be completely ruled out. That's code 4. Something's brewing. Pittsburgh's general manager has been eerily silent lately, and silence from that camp often means something's happening behind the scenes. It's like the calm before a thunderstorm. Meanwhile, Browns fans are panicking in comment sections, begging the team to fix whatever's wrong before it's too late. But you can't force happiness, and if a player like Garrett feels like he's done all he can, the next chapter might already be calling. The Steelers are masters of timing. They always strike when people least expect it. So yeah, while it sounds crazy, maybe that's exactly why it could happen. Because the craziest stories are often the truest ones. Let's not forget the human side of all this. Myles Garrett isn't just a highlight reel. He's a thinker, an artist, a guy who plays chess while everyone else plays checkers. He's built his career on discipline, precision, and power. And deep down, you know someone like that craves legacy more than comfort. Joining Pittsburgh wouldn't just be about switching teams. It'd be about redefining who he is, chasing a Super Bowl ring, and proving he can lead a defense to glory no matter the jersey. If he does make that jump, he's not just moving cities, he's stepping into legend territory. It would be shocking, controversial, and iconic all at once. That's the kind of move that gets documentaries made 10 years later. So yeah, the rumor might still be a whisper, but whispers have a way of turning into roars. And if this roar becomes real, the entire NFL better start praying for their quarterbacks. Here's where things start getting really spicy, because the rumor mill isn't just talking anymore, it's roaring. Word is the Steelers' front office has already made quiet inquiries about Garrett's situation, testing the waters to see if Cleveland might even listen to an offer. You know how this goes. They'll deny everything, act like it's business as usual, and then one morning, boom, Schefter tweet, chaos unleashed, and football fans everywhere lose their minds. This isn't just about talent. It's about legacy. The Steelers haven't had a defensive player with Garrett's raw presence since peak James Harrison. Imagine pairing that intensity with Watt's leadership and Tomlin's discipline. It's the kind of move that turns contenders into nightmares. And for Garrett, this could be a shot at rewriting his story, proving that he's not just a stat machine, but a leader capable of carrying an entire franchise back to the top. Of course, it wouldn't be a Steelers story without some serious emotional layers. Think about the cultural shift this would create. Pittsburgh has always been about family, toughness, and that never-say-die attitude. Myles Garrett embodies those traits perfectly, even if he's worn a rival jersey his whole career. And that's why this rumor hits different. It's not about stealing talent, it's about destiny. Some stories just feel meant to happen, even when they seem impossible. Fans are already imagining him walking into that locker room, shaking hands with Watt, grinning at Tomlin, and saying, "Let's make history." You can practically hear the crowd chanting his name already. Sure, it's just talk right now, but talk like this doesn't appear from thin air. It's born out of tension, ambition, and opportunity. And if this actually comes true, it would be one of the most shocking and poetic twists in recent NFL memory. But let's step back for a second. Why would Cleveland even consider letting him go? That's the million-dollar question. From what's being whispered, the relationship between Garrett and the Browns front office has cooled off. Maybe it's creative differences, maybe it's frustration, maybe it's just time. But when players reach a certain level, they start thinking about legacy, not loyalty. Garrett might look around and realize the Steelers have what the Browns don't: consistent leadership, structure, and an identity built on defense. That's something Cleveland's been chasing for years. So maybe, just maybe, this isn't about betrayal. Maybe it's about evolution. Maybe Garrett's ready to trade rivalry for rings. And if that's the case, the Steelers will be waiting with open arms, a blank contract, and a vision that screams championship. Because that's what they do. They turn hunger into history. Imagine the first Steelers press conference after the deal drops. Cameras flashing, Tomlin smiling that knowing smile, and Garrett standing tall behind the podium, black and gold everywhere. The city would explode. Jerseys would sell out overnight. ESPN would run a week of specials dissecting every second of the trade. And the AFC North? It would never be the same again. The Browns-Steelers rivalry would evolve into something biblical. Every game a war, every snap a test of pride and vengeance. Garrett would be both hero and villain, depending on which side of the Ohio River you stand. That's the beauty of sports. It turns men into myths. And this particular myth, if it happens, will be talked about for generations. Garrett in a Steelers uniform. It sounds unreal, but it's the kind of story that could define an era. And let's not underestimate what this would mean inside the Steelers locker room. Bringing in Garrett would send a message louder than any pep talk ever could. This team is done rebuilding, done waiting, done playing it safe. It will be a statement to the entire NFL that Pittsburgh is all in again. TJ Watt and Myles Garrett on opposite edges. Offensive coordinators would have nightmares. Quarterbacks would lose sleep. The Steelers' defense would instantly become the most feared unit in the league, and every Sunday would feel like a gladiator match. But beyond the stats and the headlines, this move would show that Pittsburgh still knows how to think big, to dream dangerously, to chase greatness. Because that's what champions do. They take risks that make the rest of the league uncomfortable. And if Garrett truly wants immortality, there's no better city to find it in than Pittsburgh. At the end of the day, we don't know yet if this is real or just one of those off-season fairy tales. But here's the thing. Fairy tales have a funny way of becoming true in this league. Myles Garrett to the Steelers might sound impossible today, but tomorrow's news can rewrite history in seconds. Until then, fans will debate, insiders will speculate, and every camera will stay pointed toward Pittsburgh and Cleveland, waiting for the first official sign of movement. Whether this ends up being fact or fantasy, one thing's for sure. It's one of the most electrifying rumors the NFL has seen in years. And if it ever comes true, the league won't just change, it'll explode. So keep your eyes on that black and gold horizon, because if the monster defender really does arrive, the Steelers aren't just back. They're about to become unstoppable. But before we dive in, don't forget to subscribe to Steelers Nation Central and hit the like button on this video. Your support helps us keep bringing you the latest updates on the Pittsburgh Steelers. And don't forget to share your thoughts on the news in the comments below. And here's the twist nobody saw coming. Even within the Steelers organization, not everyone's on the same page about this potential move. Some veterans reportedly love the idea. They see Garrett as the final piece to complete their championship puzzle. Others, though, worry about chemistry. Bringing in a superstar from a hated rival can shake up locker room dynamics fast. You can imagine the whispers, the stares, the silent tension between those who built the defense and the guy who's coming in to dominate it. But that's what great teams figure out, how to turn ego into energy. If Garrett steps in humble, focused, and ready to grind, those doubts will disappear by week 1. He's not just a freak athlete. He's a student of the game, the kind of player who studies film like it's scripture. Tomlin would love that. The city would rally around it. And deep down, even those skeptics in the locker room would realize that if you want to win rings, sometimes you've got to welcome the storm, because the storm brings power. Now, imagine the ripple effect this would cause across the rest of the NFL. Suddenly, teams like the Ravens, Bengals, and Chiefs would have to completely rewrite their offensive playbooks. You can't plan for two predators like Garrett and what without sacrificing something. Either you double-team both and leave your secondary exposed, or you pick your poison and hope your quarterback survives. It would force the league to adapt and fast. That's what generational moves do. They change the landscape overnight. And think about the marketing, too. Primetime games, rivalry promos, headlines screaming the monster in black and gold. It sells itself. But beyond the hype, it's football evolution in real time. Two edge rushers capable of single-handedly wrecking games every Sunday. It's the kind of combination that makes coordinators lose jobs and legends get born. Garrett might not just join the Steelers. He might redefine what modern defense looks like in the NFL. And if this rumor does become reality, mark my words, we'll be talking about this move for decades. It'll be one of those, where were you when moments in football history? Where were you when Myles Garrett left Cleveland and joined Pittsburgh? Where were you when the AFC North turned into a cinematic rivalry straight out of Hollywood? That's the beauty of this story. It's not just about football, it's about legacy, emotion, and pure, unpredictable drama. Garrett has a chance to flip the script, to turn boos into cheers and to become the face of a new Steelers dynasty. Maybe it's just a rumor today. Maybe tomorrow it's a bombshell announcement. Either way, the seed's been planted, and now everyone's watching, waiting, refreshing their feeds for that one notification that could change everything. Because if the monster defender really does walk into Pittsburgh, the entire league better get ready. The steel curtain's about to rise again, stronger, scarier, and louder than ever. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to keep receiving exclusive news about the Pittsburgh Steelers, make sure to subscribe to Steelers Nation Central and give this video a like. We always look forward to hearing your comments and opinions. See you in the next video.